afternoon, and we've got the quail here. Got a few over here, and some back here. So, as you can tell from the last video, a lot of things have changed, and the way I'm managing these quails is a lot different. So, they're still on the ground, but what I'm doing is, I think it's funny. What I'm doing is I'm doing a deep litter system, kind of mixed with, this guy's gonna try and fly out. Here, let's turn him back in with the phone. Alright, so yeah, I'm going for a deep litter system, but I'm still moving it. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm making moves with the quail tractor, but I'm moving it less often, and I'm adding more carbon material. So in this case, it's just a bunch of leaves. And alright, yeah, this guy's thinking about flying out. So just adding carbon material pretty much every day. And what's cool is, and I actually just witnessed this, was one bird pooped, and then another bird that was scratching nearby immediately covered that poop. And if you look down in here, there's just no poop, which is amazing. They're not stepping in their own crap, and it's getting mixed in with these leaves, so should help them break down a bit faster. Also, you see this pile of straw. Just put I cut a branch off a bush, and then I put straw on top of it. And this is like their safe hideaway, like their thick cover that they can go into. Because last week I had a cat come into the yard, and that cat was just chasing them all around the cage. So it never got into the cage, but it was around the sides looking in and chasing them from one side to the other, which is not good. It's stressful, and one of my quail ended up running headfirst into the wood here and dying. See, look at him scratch. And so that was really frustrating, but the mistake I had made was I didn't give him any safe place to hide away in. So that was quickly remedied, and I've been very diligent about every time I move them, I make sure they have a spot to hide in. And so now I'm down to 7 quail, and basically I've lost all my quail to basically to predators indirectly from scaring them. So it's been a week or so since that happened, and since I've had this straw on here, things have been a lot better. Well, I mean, it hasn't had an issue at all. Another issue I ran into was, I don't know if you've noticed, but some of them have their top of their head is a little bit raw, and it was weird. It was like one day they all decided to like this guy right here. He's got a raw head. This one never had a raw head, but one day I just came out here, and apparently they decided to just peck each other's heads really bad. And I don't know if this is like a puberty thing or what. I think they're about 6 weeks right now, and so full maturity is generally 8 weeks. And it was about last week or so that they had really, I mean, they're all of them except for this black and white one had bleeding heads. So I don't know what their deal was, but again, I kind of gave them a way to get out of sight from each other. They can go and hide on the other side of this pile of hay. You can see this guy's underneath it, and again, I just put a branch, cut off a branch from a bush, and then I put hay on top of it. And they seem to really like it. They'll sleep in there and those sort of things. But yeah, it's been going pretty well after I solved those problems. So obviously the whole purpose of these videos is food production. And so I have not gotten any eggs yet, but what I'm doing is I'm using them to fertilize this soil, and then I'm going to move them, and I'm basically amending the soil with the birds. And we will see this winter. Alright, we'll shut them up. I'll show you some stuff that I'm going to be growing. So this winter, I went ahead and put some in a pot just kind of as a control with good soil to see what they're supposed to do. But this is black oats, and then I've got some lentils in here as well. That's a lentil plant coming up. So here in a little bit, these I just threw in here early just to see what they would do if they would come up and if they could survive in this heat, because it's still getting, you know, in the mid 80s right now in October, early October. So I'm just gonna see what they do. But all this cardboard down here, this is where the quail were. I've moved them all the way across here to there, and basically I've laid down horse manure and a bunch of carbon, a lot of hay and things like that underneath of it, and so I'm keeping the weeds from coming up. And here pretty soon I'm gonna get my hoe and just chop it all up, and I'm gonna start planting. And I'm gonna plant a cover crop with the black oats are gonna be the main thing, but I'm gonna just plant a bunch of cool season stuff, whatever I can get my hands on. So the lentils came from the store, garbanzo beans, chickpeas. They're also a cool season legume, so I'm just gonna do them too. But oh, and then also underneath these boxes, I'm gonna plant as well, and probably just, I've got a compost bin over there behind my truck. So yeah, also a quick sneak peek on another project we've got going. I'm gonna be getting chickens at some point, hopefully here soon. But right back here behind this awesome tree, I've got an area laid out where I'm gonna be building a chicken coop. And it's gonna be a strictly deep litter system. I'm not gonna move it. I'm just gonna basically be producing compost out of this little 8x5 area. So that's gonna be fun. And I've got a bunch of brush piled back there. Somebody paid me $100 to haul it off, and I was like, the dump was closed that day. I was like, you know, that's a bunch of carbon, so I could do biochar or whatever. I could throw it in here with the chickens, and they'll end up crushing it down. The chickens are much heavier than these quail, so that's nice. And yeah, also you can see all that green stuff there. That's from a Norfolk pine I cut down. I got myself a chainsaw. And another cool thing, which is going to help, it's going to be huge for irrigation, is, well, let's just follow this hose back to our well. This well came with the house, but I couldn't figure out how to get it to work. And so my dad came into town, we got it figured out. It was really just a breaker that kept popping in the house. And I didn't know that because it wasn't labeled. Breaker said it went to the kitchen. So the pump's right in there inside of the shed, which is cool. And then yeah, I've just kind of been hoarding, getting wire and stuff wherever I can for this upcoming chicken coop. And I got that cool mower for $25. That was pretty sweet. It does well in the backyard until you hit a stick. I'll say that. But like with more like luscious weeds, it does really well and it cuts low. So it's good for the areas that I'm just going to be walking around in, keeping the yard looking nice. I like it, and it's fun. It really does feel like a toy, so it doesn't feel like work when you use it. Whereas with that friggin' thing, it feels like work. So that's that. But yeah, so as far as food production goes, I mean, we've got our peach tree. We've got cover crops going. We've got a persimmon trees that still need to go in the ground. And this is just a lily. I think you can eat the blooms, but as you can see, it's kind of leaning. And I don't think it's going to last through the winter. So I should probably go ahead and just cut that down. It'll resprout. It's got these big tubers underneath. So yeah, that's what I've got going right now. And my real passion is the animals. I love the animals and the way they interact with the plants, but I feel like if you got animals, you gotta have plants because they're so interconnected. But yeah, that's what we got going now. So man, I love listening to them scratch in the leaves, and they seem to really enjoy it too. These quail are just they're super cool. I don't know what else to say about them, but they're really neat. You know, they're a little different than chickens. They're not. I don't think they're quite as easy but that may be just because I've had chickens before and I know them better, whereas this is my first time with quail. So with all that being said, I'll let you know when I get my first egg. It should be here in the next couple of weeks, and that will be really exciting. And then also the goal is to grow all the food that the quail need. So I got one 50-pound bag of feed for them, and the rest, you know, they're eating stuff right now that I did not, that just came with the leaves, bugs and things. So they keep themselves busy with that, and then, you know, they'll huddle all together and take a nap for a little bit and then get back at it. So quail are definitely fun little animals. You can keep them in small spaces, and yeah, you can have a tiny yard and keep quail. They're very quiet, and yeah, it's pretty chill until they randomly decide to peck each other's brains out. But they quit that, so that was just like a one-time thing, and I didn't change, or really didn't change anything besides giving them a place to get out of one another's line of sight. So I think that was the biggest thing, because birds are really, really visual. They pick up on movement, and if they see something they want to peck, they just friggin' peck it. So yeah, these quails are enjoying themselves. Alright, y'all have a wonderful evening. Bye.